Assalamu alaikum students, I am Ahsan Abdullah Patel. Today I will discuss angle properties with the students. So the first property is basically the sum of angles at same point is 360 degree. For suppose we take this point. On this point there are 5 different lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The angle between the lines have been measured as A, B, C, D, E. So in this diagram, I can say the sum of all these angles must be 360 because if I combine all these angles, it will be a circle. And you all know that the sum of angles in a circle is basically 360 degree. Therefore, A plus B plus C plus D plus E equals to 360 degree. Another example of this property that we have 3 lines at the same point merging at this point. For say O is this point is O, and the angles are ABC. The sum of these angles ABC will be 360 degree. That is A plus B plus C is equals to 360 degree. So whenever you see any number of angles at the same point, the sum will always be 360 degree. Now for the second property, in this condition the two lines are intersecting lines. So whenever we see two intersecting lines, the opposite angles will always be equal. For suppose if this angle is A, then this angle should be A. If this angle is B, then this should be B. And in a straight line we can always see that if it is a straight line, the angle formed by the straight line is always 180 degrees. So therefore we can say that A plus B is equals to 180 degree. And how is that so? Because 2A plus 2B, the sum of all the angles at the same point is 360 degree. Therefore we can see that A plus B will be equals to 180 degree. So here we can also say that B can be equals to 180 degree minus A as well. That means if one angle on a straight line is known, second angle can also be known by subtracting it from 180 degree. Okay, so for suppose now in this diagram we have two parallel lines. For suppose we are seeing at this point these two angles must be the same because these are two intersecting lines. Because these two lines are parallel, so therefore these two lines have the same direction. Because of same direction, if this angle is A, then it should also be A. And if this angle is A, then these two angles must also be A because these are two intersecting lines. Okay, so in this diagram we can see two different type of properties, that when two parallel lines are there and we have one intersecting line with these two parallel lines, then this angle, these angles and these angles are on the same side of the intersecting line. That is, this is the same side of the intersecting line, that is right side, and this is left side of the intersecting line, that is the left side basically. So these two angles on the same side of the intersecting line, these two angles on the same side of the intersecting line will always be equal. And in the same manner, this B is also equal because they are on the right side of the intersecting line, and by intersecting this property, this should also be B and this should also be B. So now when we see only these two angles, so I have rubbed down some angles. So now we are seeing on the opposite side of the intersecting line. So if these two are parallel lines and this angle is A, then to another parallel line, this angle A will repeat at the another side of the intersecting line. For suppose this A is on the right side of the intersecting point with line 1. Basically this is for suppose line 1, this is for suppose line 2, this is for suppose line 3. Line 3 is intersecting line 1 and line 2. So we can clearly see at this point, for suppose this point is P and for suppose this point is Q. So at P, the angle A is on the right side of L3, and at Q, the angle A is on the left side of line 3. These two angles will always be equal if line 1 and line 2 are parallel. In the same manner, B should be same here, because B at point P lies on the left side of L3. So therefore at Q, the angle to the right side of L3 should be the same. So these two angles on the opposite side of the intersection line will always be equal. Now I have made some changes in the diagram. Line 3 is intersecting line 1 and line 2 at P and Q respectively. So we can clearly see at point P, the angle A is on the left side of L3, and point Q, the angle A is also on the left side of L3. These two angles will always be same. Then these two angles are called corresponding angles, okay? And also B is lying at the left side of L3 and B here is lying on the left side of L3. Therefore these two angles must be the same. Now another property. In these four diagrams, you can see if we have two lines parallel. In this diagram as well, we have two lines parallel. In this diagram as well, we have two lines parallel. In this diagram as well, we have two parallel lines. We can see that two lines are intersecting with line 1 and line 2. We can see that two lines are intersecting with line 1 and line 2, and this is the point. Basically this is the point P for the intersection of two lines which are intersecting with line 1 and line 2 at these 2 points, with line 1 line 2, and these both lines are intersecting at P. So we can see that these lines have angles A and B with line 1 on the right side, while this angle C is on the left side. In this diagram, the angle A and B are on the left side, while C is on the right side. In this diagram, A and B are in the downward direction while C is in the upward direction. And now in this diagram, A and B are in the upward direction and C is in the downward direction. So in all these cases, in all these four types of properties, we can see that A plus B will always be equals to C. Okay, and this property can be derived by using properties which I have discussed earlier. Okay, now in these four diagrams you can see that I have shifted the sides of the angles. Before A was here, I have shifted to that side. A was here, I have shifted to that side. And in all these diagrams you can see that A was here, I have shifted to upward side. So the property remains the same, but you have to make sure that if these A and B are on the left side, then the sum of this A and B will be on the right side. If A and B are on the right side, the sum will be on the left side, that is C. C equals to A plus B. And now like in this example, A and B are on the upward side, so C should be in the downward side, and while A and B are in the downward side, so therefore C will be in the upward side. That's all for angle properties. Now I will discuss some more properties for polygons in the next video. I hope so you have learned something in this video, and I will try to make more videos regarding any or more of the topics. If you find any problem, you may ask me by commenting, or you may message me at my WhatsApp number given in the details as well. So thank you so much for your kind support. Allah Hafiz.